Good evening and welcome to the Sports Locker. Now, last month we had 5 of Gibraltar's netball umpires deployed across 3 different international competitions. Tonight, I'm joined by 3 of them. Ella Milan, who was in the Isle of Man for the Rising Stars competition, Nati Cipollina, who was in Scotland for Europe's Netball Under-17 Championship, and Nadine Pardo-Zamit in London for the Nations Cup. Also joining us are 2 young and upcoming umpires in 12-year-old Sofia Parodi and 15-year-old Maya Misud. Guys, thank you so much for coming along. It's been a month now, more or less, since you've returned from all your different competitions. Nadine, we'll start with you because you're sat here beside me. London, Nations Cup, big tournament, big players.
It was, and I was very much looking forward to it. Unfortunately, in the world of elite sports, there's times where people suffer injuries, and I had my first injury on that match. I fractured my patella. It was an avulsion fracture, which means my quad and my patella pulled my patella apart.
Sounds painful.
So yes, but it also goes to show the level of how mobile you need to be and how strong you need to be because of the movement involved in umpiring. I've taken the time to do a lot of other types of exercise and meditation and so forth, and just to, and now I can have been given the go-ahead to get back into things. So looking forward to this next chapter.
Good. I don't want to go on about injuries too much, but I was particularly surprised when we hosted the Youth World Cup, the way the umpires glide across the court and they zigzag their feet around to get from one corner to the other. And I was mentioning this to you when I interviewed you the other day, and I mean, I'm surprised there's not more injuries because my ankles would twist all the time.
Yeah. Did you know that most in these type of matches, internationals, we do up to 8K on any one match.
Wow.
And
I think I do that in a week of walking.
And of course, footwork patterns are very important because positioning and timing is important.
Wow, fantastic. Not fantastic if you're getting injured, but fantastic to know so much about it. Natalie, not your first international competition, but I suppose at this scale it was the first time performing under this kind of pressure. What was that like in Aberdeen, umpiring teams like England and Scotland?
I mean, it was quite stressful, to say the least. It was definitely really enjoyable. I really liked the challenge, and obviously it was nice to umpire such a high level. But obviously I was quite nervous going into it. But once I got into the matches, it wasn't too bad at all. But yeah, it definitely was nerve-wracking going in, and especially being not too much older than the girls themselves. So
I suppose a slightly different pressure for you, Ella. Not England and Scotland, but players that are feisty, that want to prove themselves in a bit of a derby between Isle of Man and Gibraltar as well.
Yeah.
And you also had a tricky situation where you had to umpire Gibraltar a couple of times.
Yes, I did. I think I managed to get 3 of Gibraltar's matches. So yeah, it was quite stressful because obviously there was no bias as an umpire whatsoever. But we had the Gibraltar crowd there, and I wanted to prove that I could umpire well, and I didn't want to let the team down nor the crowd down either.
Sophia, 12 years old. This is kind of an exciting future for you because this is what awaits you when you make it to kind of that level of umpiring. Is that exciting?
Yeah, I really look forward to being able to do that. I really hope I'm good enough though.
Yeah, I'm sure you will, Nadine. I'm sure she is, no?
I'm so proud of our up-and-coming umpires. They really, really excite me because they are so determined and they absorb everything I tell them. So it's lovely to see, and Sophia will definitely do very well if she continues.
Yeah, thank you.
Maya, you'll be getting graded soon for your C award. Bit nerve-wracking, but again, also exciting, no?
Yeah, it's really exciting because I feel like I'm taking my first step to actually making it like they do, and I'm really, really excited. When
you achieve your C award, what opportunities does that open up?
Really, it's the same as fundamentals, but it's just as fun, to be honest. I love doing umpiring, and it's just that step forward for me.
Is it when you get your A award that international competitions open up?
Yeah. Maya and Sophia would have to work towards their A. That will take time and exposure, but we'll get there. So you start off with the fundamental umpiring award.
Yeah.
Then there's the C, the B, and the A. And then, like myself, ITID'd an international status.
Because they've started so young, do you have to be a certain age to meet certain grades, or as soon as you're ready, you can go for the A grade, let's say?
That's a really interesting question because I'm corresponding with Netball Europe because there's so much commitment in Gibraltar with the umpiring and the talent that I see. At the moment, under Netball Europe rules, you must be 14 in order to progress to the C award. And I just see the likes of Sophia and others ready for their C award at 12 years of age.
Yeah. So we're kind of breaking the mold, yeah. We're going to have a case study done on Gibraltar umpires
sure.
and the talent we have here.
I'll certainly be pushing for it. I mean, you know already that our junior league with, 16 umpires that umpire specifically on a Wednesday is all run by junior umpires. Those are umpires that are Maya's age, 14 and under. And yet we don't need any adults involved other than to mentor them and to safeguard them. So there will always be an adult there watching them. But that's why they're progressing so well, because they're on a weekly basis being given feedback.
Nadine. I mean, I think it's fair to say we can kind of credit you with the explosion of umpiring talent that we have here. I'll ask someone else, because how much of a role model has Nadine been to all of you in terms of wanting to umpire?
I mean, she's definitely been like, she literally, without Nadine, there would be no umpiring in Gib, definitely. Like, I started at 12, so roughly at their age, and it was all because of Nadine. There was like a group of us that started, and obviously now we've progressed to where we are now. So yeah, definitely without Nadine's mentoring and obviously organising our assessments, organising like the fixtures, everything for everyone weekly, our mentoring. So yeah, we definitely wouldn't be here without Nadine.
And Nadine, I believe, has kind of handpicked all of you to be umpires from when they were players. You all still play. But Nadine, what do you look for in a player that makes you think she would make a good umpire?
It's not necessarily what I look for, but I'll answer that question first. Feisty players, those that come back to me with the questions, are the ones I say, you need to come to the umpire course. But generally, when I'm in the junior league, I just encourage as many players to sign up for it, not just because they'll have a better understanding of the rules, but there's so many life skills that you get from umpiring, so many character growths that you can have, you know, your confidence is boosted.
That's for leadership role as well,
there's
because
a
at the end
leadership
of the day,
elements, there's so much that you gain from it. So I even say, look, this is something that looks good on your CV, or
anything to entice them.
ACUS or UCAS qualification, or whatever it's called, the application for university. But there's a bit of a void. There's a void because we don't have men, Jose. So are you interested?
Umpiring?
Yes.
I'd have to learn the rules properly.
Okay.
I am a sports reporter, so I know the rules of netball, but I mean, some of the rules, sometimes I think, well, why is that being called? And I imagine that happens to some of the players too. But you can give me a crash course on umpiring.
I'm happy to do that.
And when you do, every year you do that tournament with netball. No, it's called the Machotes.
Oh, yes.
So maybe I could umpire one of those.
Yeah, of course. Why not? No, you can umpire the junior league and the women's league. And
I think that would be a bit unfair to such an unprofessional umpire. But I could do the Machotes competition that you guys organise once a year. I could umpire that, And you can assess me as well.
Yeah.
And then we can make it like an open day scheme. We can do it for next open day.
We can get more from GBC to do it.
Yeah, we can do that. We'll talk off camera. Yeah, we'll sort it out. So we'll go back to the competitions itself. Tough. We were talking off camera about, and this is again something I realized when we had the Youth Cup here, that the coaches can ask to speak to the umpires after the game if they were unhappy with some decisions. Is that like the worst case scenario for you? Like when someone says, I want to speak to you after the game?
I mean, it does tend to happen in most matches. Personally, like all the matches that I was on, it did happen, even reserving. It did. Sometimes it was one team and not the other. So if you were lucky, you would get normally just one team. But yeah, normally they do ask just more for clarification of rules, because that's really all that they can ask for. So they'll just ask maybe in regards to a specific situation, and then basically we just have to clarify the rule. But there's definitely no really questioning of our decisions. They can just more ask for clarification of what we thought.
Sophia, Maya, does that happen in the junior league as well? Do you have to speak to the coaches afterwards? Is it a bit more?
Not as much, but sometimes it's more players that they don't really understand the rule, and you just need to like confirm how it is.
And how do you handle that as an umpire in the middle of a game?
It's a bit intimidating, but at the end of the day, your decision is your decision, and no one can change that. So the only thing you can do is just explain why you did it and what they can do to improve.
I always say also, and I think we've spoken about this, that humility is key, and we do get things wrong, and it's fine to put your hands up and say, yep, got that one wrong, I'll learn from that one, and let's move on.
Sophia, I want to ask you this because you're kind of youngest umpire. What was your reaction when Nadine says, do you want to be an umpire?
I was really excited because I've always seen the umpires umpiring our game, and I've always wanted to be like them, because I don't know, you get to like control the game sort of thing, more like organize it. And that was like really cool. So to get the opportunity to do that, I was like really happy.
Does it give you like a different perspective on the game?
Yeah, for sure. Sometimes I used to get really annoyed with the umpires for calling things. But
And
now
that's why
I,
Nadine picked you out to
Oh,
be
she's
an umpire.
feisty. She's one of our feisty ones.
Yeah, but now I understand why they call it, so it's okay now.
And do you think it's helped you as a player as well?
Yeah, for sure. Can understand the rules way better. Like, I don't know. It just helped me so much.
Yeah, definitely. It improves you as a player, doesn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah.
Because you know you've got one up on the umpires. You know you can do
Yeah,
certain
yeah.
things that's allowed by the rules.
Well, no, I mean, the respect that the game itself gives towards umpiring in netball, perhaps not seen in other sports as much. And it's often said that the umpires are kind of a heartbeat of the game. Do you feel like that when you're on the court?
Yes, I would say. Does anyone else want to reply? We can definitely give a part of us to to what's happening on courts. It's part of my workshop. You know, you can look at the match and agree with things that are happening and enjoy it. And at the same time, you can calm down the mood of the match if things are getting a bit rough. That's one of the most important things we do as umpires, make sure that everyone is safe and injury-free on court.
How would you deal if something like that happened and things are starting to get a bit heated up and you kind of have to calm it down?
I guess we can say it's recently been changed in the new rules, but we have a game management ladder. So if things start to get heated up, you give them proactive advice. So you start telling them address your contact or obstruction to sort of give them like a warning, right? Like you're kind of pushing it. And then you go to an advancement, which you advance the penalty by half a third. And then you start going to the warnings, suspension for 2 minutes and ordering off, which hopefully you don't want to send a player off.
So you have to be a bit of a diplomat at the same time there and how to communicate.
Yes.
And that kind of leads me to my next question, because you get injured, so you're an athlete, you're a diplomat because you have to address certain situations. And to a certain extent, you're a tactician as well. What role do you find hardest to kind of contend with on the court? As in, you know, between being an athlete and getting from one side to the other, between talking to the players and between making sure that everything stays within the restrictions of the game. Which is the role that's hardest to master?
I think dissent is the worst one that you can come across. So that's when when a player is questioning your officiating, questioning the rules, questioning what you're observing. And dissent just personally really rubs me up the wrong way. Like, no.
Hey, watch it.
Yeah.
You'll be having a word with them after the game.
Yeah. Well, that's when I go in, I say, do you want to be an umpire?
Yeah.
Yeah, come along to the course.
Tell us a bit about why it is that we've got such a pool here of umpiring talent, because you can have a lot of umpires, but then, like you said, so many young umpires that are ready to take the next step in their grading. What is it? Is it you as a teacher that's just so fantastic, Nadine? What is it about the talents here?
Look, it's not a one-man team. It's the infrastructure that we have. It really is. I am so honoured to be part of such a great network of people, volunteers, not just in the umpiring family, but also with the coaches and everything else you know about netball, you know. But within the umpiring setup, we've got a subcommittee made up of a couple of people that have more experience. And when I have any questions or any thoughts or anything I want to improve on, we come together and discuss it. And then there's this filtering effect. I am a mentor, yes, and I mentor a lot of the younger umpires, but my B awards will spread their knowledge and share their knowledge, that tacit knowledge that they've gained through the years, and mentor the C awards. And then, I mean, even Maya, who's a C or going to be a C award, she's mentoring fundamentals.
Wow.
And I think that's growth in itself in terms of your confidence levels.
Yeah, it must really help to be given such responsibilities before you get graded as well, so that must help when you get to the grading.
Yeah, and as well, it also helps you in yourself, because you're also learning as well as them, because you're correcting them at the same time. So it's also going through your head as well as theirs.
Well, thank you very much, guys. That's it for part one. Join us again in part two as we continue to dive deeper into the umpiring world of netball. Welcome back to the Sports Local. We're talking netball and umpiring specifically, and we're joined by a talented group of umpires here on The Rock, which have just been away on international duties. Let's start a bit with the grading and the A award. And tell us a bit about, we've spoken about the C award and the fundamentals. Talk about that jump, if you remember, from the C award and the A award. Natalie.
I mean, definitely, obviously there's the B in between, but I would say there's definitely quite a jump between C, B and A, definitely, especially B to A. I mean, the assessment is obviously the same. They just come, the assessors come over from the UK to watch us do a match, but obviously the match does need to be of a certain level, which is obviously going to be a lot higher when it's for A, and obviously the expectations are a lot higher for A award. So it's definitely more challenging, but definitely doable. So
Can I just add?
Yeah.
Remember, the assessors are 3 assessors,
Oh,
whereas
right,
the
yeah,
B
it's
is
true.
2. So these
Vale.
are 3 per
3 different
people.
games.
No.
1 game, 3 assessors. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
It's
the standard
definitely-
is
And what
quite
if they
high.
don't agree?
There's a lead assessor. That's why there's 3. There's a lead, and then they agree. The lead will.
And do you
decide.
get to see that feedback?
yeah, obviously once we finish the match, obviously we just have to wait a little bit for them to discuss. So obviously that's probably the most nerve-wracking part after the match, where you're just sat waiting. But
It's like a test.
yeah, so we get our feedback after, and obviously whether we've passed or not. But it is definitely intimidating, obviously, knowing that there's people watching everything that you're doing. But I mean, it's definitely doable, and it's definitely really enjoyable. So, and it's obviously rewarding once it's done.
Jose, can I just
Yeah?
say, there's also a 2-hour theory exam.
Written.
Yeah, written.
Yeah, I was
What
gonna
kind of
say.
questions do you get on that?
It's on the rules, right? I think
Yeah.
you even have to remember the name of the exact rule and what number.
A number like
What-
rule
yeah, what
1B
rule is-
Yeah,
dot
yeah.
5 says.
Yeah.
I had my
Wow.
study sheet, and Nadine kept on providing past paper after past paper. I had them coming up my ears through practicing.
And
my
you sit the exam, is it a physical exam or do you sit it online?
No, it was in
person.
person.
Oh, I was going to say you can't cheat then, can you?
No, they're quite difficult though. The
Yeah.
marks.
I imagine.
Yeah.
And the
Quite-
jump from C to B and A, because
Yeah.
B and A is the same paper, and you can pass your B paper with an A grade and not have to do it again.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it's the same.
That's
paper.
nice. At least, no?
Yeah.
But you're given 2 years to gain your B or A accreditation.
Vale, between each other. So once you get your B, you got 2 years to do your
Yes.
A, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not, you got to sit it all again.
Yeah.
Essentially.
That's right, yeah.
Yes.
Let's tell us a bit about, talking about feedback. What kind of feedback did you receive after coming back from the Rising Stars competition?
My first feedback was my positioning and timing, and like you were saying earlier, the running that helped, or the gliding as an umpire, that helps a lot, especially from the runs from your sideline to the goal line, where you need to have a change of pace. And overall, once I improved on that, it helped with my vision on how to adjust my timing on the run to the goal line. And that helped me see more further depth into the court, especially to the other side, which is really difficult to see from one side of the court. And it helped me adjust more contacts or contesting, which was a final bit of my feedback on where to play advantage more.
Nice.
How beneficial is it for Maya and you, Sophia, to have umpires that are close in age, in the sense that, you know, you're all still teenagers, to be able to learn from, and it's not so distant, as in, you know, the next umpire is in their 20s or 30s. They're quite close to your age. It must feel quite easy to approach them and get feedback and learn from them as well.
Yeah. I feel like also we relate because obviously we're close in age. So we kind of just get each other, because maybe what problem I have, she's had in the past when she was doing her C. So it's really nice to have someone close in age mentoring you.
Do you talk to other umpires like that in that sense? Do you share notes on how you want to improve?
Yeah, like between each quarter, you like go in the middle and you tell each other feedback. And it's really good to have someone you feel like comfortable with. And that's normally someone close in age. So it's really good to have people like that.
And Sophia has her sister who's a C award.
Yeah,
Sia Wood as well?
Yeah.
What's her name?
Sienna.
Shout out to Sienna then on a Sia Wood. Is she going to be doing a B award soon?
Yeah, I hope so. I'm definitely encouraging her to do it.
How many umpires do you keep tabs on? It must be quite a responsibility.
Yes, it's a
You have like a
lot.
spreadsheet with everyone's name and what grade and how close they are to be ready to
I
grade
do,
again.
of course I do. I have everyone's details on there, you know, when they received each grade and what's happening in terms of their pathway. I encourage everyone to contact me at the start of the season and explain to me what it is that they'd like to achieve and then we agree on a pathway for them. But yes,
That was only my...
a lot of administration.
Yeah.
So a lot of what I do is in the background as well.
Well, netball runs like a well-oiled machine, and I think
Yes.
we saw that with our, lifetime achievement winner of a sports awards in Moira, and how much she does. Again, shout out to Moira for everything she does and making sure this ship has stayed afloat over decades.
For sure.
And I'm sure she's extremely proud and also privileged to be able to just kind of, give some work off and not have to worry about it, knowing that she is in capable hands.
I hope so.
With you,
I hope she feels that way. I'm sure she does.
Talking a bit more about the international competitions, and in particular, I mean, umpiring the Rising Stars competition would have been hard, but when you've got powerhouses like England, Scotland, UAE, is there a certain element of more pressure there? And again, no disrespect to Gibraltar and the Isle of Man and France, but is there an element there that you're dealing with the biggest of the biggest nations here?
I mean, it's definitely, it definitely was a lot of pressure. I mean, on my England match, I would say I was probably the most nervous. But I mean, it's obviously really enjoyable to do. But yeah, I did definitely feel quite a lot of pressure. And I was nervous going into the tournament anyway, being one of the younger umpires, more inexperienced. But obviously it was a really good experience, and my first match was a 1-point game, so it was like the pressure was on that match to obviously make fair decisions as always. So yeah, but I think it was quite good that I got that match on the first day, so it felt easier on the last few days, to be honest, after the 1-point game on the first day.
Is there a particular moment from the competition that really stood out with you guys?
Yeah, probably I would say the first match on the first day when I came off, because I was not facing the score, so I just wasn't aware of what the score was at, and regardless, we're not really supposed to look at it. But I mean, when I came off and I just felt that relief and saw that it was a 1-point game and I felt that I had done well, it was quite a good feeling, to be honest. And obviously knowing that it was quite a contested match and they had selected us for that match was quite an honour, so yeah.
Is that better, not knowing the score, really?
I mean, yeah, obviously we're not supposed to be looking at that anyway, but once I saw that score when I came off, I was like, oh my goodness, like the pressure that I felt like was insane.
I would say the change from my first game, because I was quite nervous, till probably my second or third, I've had like a really satisfactory feeling that I've done better, especially from the feedback from my mentor, Yvonne. And even she agreed with me, and coming off that match, I felt proud of myself finally, because I was working on the feedback that she gave me from my first match, which obviously, due to nerves, I didn't perform as best as I could. So yeah, those second or third games, once I had finally relaxed into the competition, went way better for me.
And we're talking about nerves and pressure. It does help that you go with a fellow colleague, I mean, Natalia and Wendy aren't here, but how much does that help to go with someone else that knows exactly what you're dealing with and you're both there to do the same thing?
I mean, I think it definitely did help a lot to have Natalia there, but I think as well, having someone like familiar also from Gib was quite nice. But yeah, it does help a lot to have someone your age at your like sort of experience level. So we were both a bit more inexperienced. So it was nice to have like both of us there together. We were questioning the other umpires all the time and just nervous. So it was nice to have someone at that same level and with that same feeling. You
are kind of the blueprint for all of these people, but who was your role model and how hard was it kind of to reach this level of umpiring? Because now you're an ID.
Which means a talent identified umpire.
Exactly. But this, without you, I mean, you had no one here to follow in the footsteps of. So tell us a bit about your journey. I
didn't even think this was a thing. I now explain it as my professional sporting career. But when I came back from university, I had what they've had from me. I had Moira approach me, Nadine, do you want to take on umpiring? And I just took it on and ran with it. And I literally ran with it to the steps. I'm always wanting a challenge in my life. So I thought I'll do my B, I'll do my A. And then I got talent identified, and it opened up this whole new chapter for me that I've so thoroughly enjoyed. And if I can get any of these girls up to that, arena, that would be amazing. And obviously that just ripples back to the growth of netball in Gibraltar.
Just before we go now, because we are running out of time, I want to ask the youngest ones this. If anyone wants to get into umpiring at a young age, what would you recommend to them? Or how would you entice them to get into netball and umpiring?
I think, well, I love umpiring so much, and I'd recommend it to any girl that plays netball. It's like, we're like a family, so we're all like really close if you think about it, because we all relate in a way. So if you're having problems, like if you're just starting and I don't know, you're feeling lost in a way, you can come to any of us, like we're all really close. So we'd be able to help anyone out, and I really do recommend it if you play, or anyone else.
Yeah, I think that it's really good to have people like that, like backing you up with everything you say. I think I was really nervous at the beginning because I wasn't sure how they would react to me calling stuff, but it's actually fine. Like they respect you fine, and it's really good.
Well, that's a perfect way to end it.
Yeah.
S'ha passat tan rápido. We should have had more time. But guys, thank you very much for coming along.
Thank you for inviting us.
That's it for this week's Sports Locker. If you want to join umpiring in netball, I'm sure you can drop Nadine a message and she'll help you get in touch and follow the right path. But until then, we'll see you in the next Sports Locker, Mondays at 8.